Good evening and welcome to Trending Tonight with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Two stories that we are tracking right here. Story number one, we were told it is a terror plot. Then it turned out to be something totally different. Now the National Investigation Agency, the NIA, has filed its charge sheet. They say that this was not a bomb plot. This was a plot of a different kind. Plot by a police official to regain lost glory. And many people were in cahoots. Many people were involved in stitching together first a narrative, first a story, and also hatching the murder of Mansukh Hiren. We are talking about the Antilia bomb plot charge sheet. It's explosive, but the most important question is, terror plot or a plot to fix someone? Can what the NIA has said stand legal scrutiny, court scrutiny? Otherwise, this will also appear to be like a story. So whatever NIA has gathered by way of information, can it withstand court scrutiny? That's the point that we are raising at this moment. Also on the show, farmers versus government. This protest seems to have intensified. There's still a protest going on, this time around in Karnal. We are hearing that more Mahapanchayats are going to take place in pole-bound Uttar Pradesh. We'll, in just a short moment, be joined in by Mr. Rakesh Tiketh. He's leading this movement for the farmers. He joins us exclusively on NDTV in just a short moment from now. But first, let's quickly tell you what exactly is this charge sheet. So as far as the NIA charge sheet is concerned, it tried to answer the first and the most important question, how the conspiracy unfolded. So according to this charge sheet, Waze, Sachin Waze, the cop, encounter specialist top cop, conspired to plant explosive-laden car outside the Ambani residence, that is the Antilia, Mukesh Ambani's residence. Sachin Waze and Mansukh Hiren knew one another. Now, who's Mansukh Hiren? He's the guy who owned that Scorpio, which was parked outside the Antilia. Waze asked Hiren to leave the car at a pre-decided location. When Waze planted explosive in the car, he destroyed his garments as well as mobile phone. Waze convinced Hiren to file a complaint the Scorpio car was stolen. Waze booked a hotel room under a fake name for 100 days to plot the conspiracy. Mansukh Hiren then refused to take responsibility when he was told to do so. That's what the charge sheet says. Waze thought he was a weak link, threat to the other accused, and thus we come to the next chapter of this saga, the Mansukh Hiren murder. How did that happen? We are only attributing this to information which is available on websites, on news articles, as far as the charge sheet is concerned. So Sachin Waze gave former encounter specialist Pradeep Sharma a contract to kill Mansukh, SUV's owner. Sachin Waze then went to his office, handed over bags full of cash. Mr. Sharma, that is Pradeep Sharma, approached Santosh Shelar for this job. Hiren has in fact been identified by Shelar and Sunil Mane, API Sunil Mane, who helped in the murder plot. Now, this is all information which is available in the charge sheet as reported by various media outlets. Now, let's talk about Sachin Waze's motive. Waze planted explosives-laden car outside the Ambani residence to regain lost clout. You see, what happened was that he stayed suspended for a very long time, over 1.5 decades. So, Waze wanted to establish himself as a super cop by creating a terror threat and stage an encounter. Now, let's come to a cyber expert's testimony. Param Bir Singh, could he be in the dock? Remember, the former or the ex-Mumbai police commissioner. Cyber expert, it is said, according to this charge sheet, prepared a report that said the terror outfit Jaish-ul-Hind was responsible, and a threatening poster was also allegedly inserted in the report at the insistence of Mr. Param Bir Singh. The ex-Mumbai top cop allegedly paid this cyber expert a sum of 5 lakh rupees in cash in his office. The cyber expert is also believed to have said that the report was confidential and he was shocked that it was leaked. Now, all this information that has come as far as this NIA charge sheet is concerned, reported by media outlets, there are some big questions on the bomb plot charge sheet. Question number one, and a very important one, is Mr. Waze the only mastermind? As of this moment, it appears as if the mastermind is Mr. Sachin Waze alone. Was Waze acting on his own or at someone's behest? And the most important question, which is going to be our subject matter of discussion right here, will the NIA charge sheet be able to withstand court scrutiny? Also, what was the exact role of former Commissioner Param Bir Singh? I want to welcome Mr. Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, with us. We also have Mr. P.K. Jain, former Mumbai Police Commissioner. P.K.D. Nambia is a political analyst opposed to the BJP. Thank you very much. Mr. Jain, you know, in Bollywood, the land of Bollywood, to have a filmy plot like this being hatched by the police, is both comic as well as tragic, don't you think?
Well, Sanket, it is not comic at all. It is a very, very serious and sinister design, something which is very serious and has very serious implications for the police department. Our entire credibility has been brought to question because of this one case. Now, as far as the NIA charge sheet is concerned, as of now, yes, whatever evidence NIA has in its possession, they have tried to fix Sachin Waze and his 9 associates into various charges of framing this thing, planting the explosives, committing murder, destroying the evidence, etc. But to my mind, the very fact that you mentioned about the testimony of the cyber expert, which has ascribed certain statements or actions on the part of the ex-CP also. So obviously, if you take that into consideration, then Sachin Waze is not the only mastermind. The plot goes much beyond him. I have been maintaining on this issue with my limited professional experience that this is a case in which senior officers and politicians are involved. There is I have no second doubt in my mind at all. Because
no, so Mr. Jain, you feel that Mr. Waze alone could not have done this level of master planning, which is being made out?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What he did was foolishly. His planning went wrong because he was overconfident that he will be able to investigate the case and wrap it up according to what and how he wanted or his masters wanted. The case has to go much beyond him. I mean, the NIA, I'm sure, will not stop at sending only one charge sheet. There will be further charge sheets in this matter.
But you know, Mr. Jain, the NIA's brief is only related to these terror charges. That is why if you see that the bulk of their investigation is restricted to this allegation of this being the job of a terrorist organization. That's the reason why they came in. Now, what was the political plot, alleged political plot? Do you think that they have the mandate?
Political plot is a part of the whole thing. If all the 3 cases, the murder and the missing Scorpio, or the case of the theft of the Scorpio at Ghatkopar or Vikhroli police station, wherever it was lost, they have taken over all the cases. So the mandate was not only to crack this particular case, but also go into the entire game plan that has gone into it, and how the entire conspiracy was hatched and how it was executed.
Okay.
As I said, Sachin Waze will be only a small part of the entire conspiracy.
Okay, Mr. Hegde, I want to come to you now. Yeah, I want to come to you now, Mr. Hegde. Mr. P.K. Jain, with his years of experience, feels that Mr. Waze is only a small fish. This is a much bigger game. There are bigger political interests involved, and they might be shielded if Mr. Waze is seen as the mastermind. He may be a facilitator, but not the mastermind. What else needs to be done?
Well, let's put it this way. If a novelist had taken this charge sheet and written it as a novel, and these things had not happened, people just would say you are being unrealistic. Such things never happen. But often truth is stranger than fiction. Mr. Jain may have his suspicions, but is Mr. Jain saying that the NIA is deliberately not investigating some politicians? That can't be. Yes, the fact is that Mr. Waze was out of a job for a long time. He was brought in only due to certain pressures. Some say that he was Mr. Param Bir Singh's man. Some say he was somebody else's man. Whatever that be. If the NIA charge sheet is true, it throws a cloud over all charge sheets filed by so many police organizations over various cases. The Bhima Koregaon case, for instance, the accused are saying that, look, the material was planted on them. The Delhi riots case, all the charge sheet is coming apart. I really think that policemen have lost the investigative rigor which used to be there in the old days. Sometimes anything which is a cut-paste job from some media channel, some blog, something or the other becomes a theory of investigation.
No, but then Mr. Hegde, we're talking about the NIA here. So you feel that what the NIA has done in the charge sheet, they will have to justify in a court of law, so that it does not
whether
appear
it is
like
the NIA or any whether it's the NIA or any investigative agency.
Yeah.
Any charge sheet which has been filed by the police have to be proved in a court and proved beyond reasonable doubt against the named accused. That is the law.
Mr. Nambiar, let me come to you now.
One last line.
Yeah, let me come to you because he's been waiting. I'll come back.
Just a quick thing.
Very quickly.
Police often seem to think these days that filing their charge sheet, their job is over. The trial will take 10 years down the line. They will not be there.
But the real job actually begins now, to be able to prove what they've said is right. Okay, PKD Nambiar, I want to come to you now. Mr. Jain feels that, and he has, with his years of experience, this feeling that, and this suspicion, not feeling, this suspicion that Mr. Waze may be a small fry, like a little small link to a larger game. Now see, my point is, if there is suspicion, then there should be an investigation. If you think that if there is some sort of evidence which is available to suggest that there is a larger plot, have an investigation.
Sanket, I agree with Mr. Jain today completely, 100%. There are multiple reasons for it. You need to understand that when a political force is not in the complete control of a political authority, and if the officers are just on the rampage of behaving not like a cops but like a criminal, I think there is something much more needs to be
Mr.
done.
Nambiar, if you look at the NIA, if you look at the NIA charge sheet, which reportedly says that Mr. Waze was doing it to retain lost glory. So why should we, I mean, if this is the NIA, you can't say that this is an agency that reports into the Maharashtra government. So if the NIA is reportedly saying something like this, then this effectively rules out any larger conspiracy.
Sanket, I haven't even completed my one statement.
Sir.
I'll tell you what. The problem is that today you need to understand the former Mumbai police commissioner is out. He is not there in his seat, Param Bir Singh. The former home minister of the state, and he is in absconding. So the situation of the political situation is very clear that the officers, whatever, even if at all, if you go by whatever is the NIA charge sheet so far they have filed, clearly gives an indication the political force and the police force is not in the control of the political the government in the state. So there is a major problem that the criminality of the police force is becoming a reality, which is there existed many parts of the country, but that in a place like a commercial capital like the Mumbai, the second most
but then what about Mr.
city.
Hegde's charge? See, there are allegations against many central agencies also of planting evidence, all sorts of things. See, my point is, yes,
Sanjay,
there is
Sanjay,
doubt.
With due respect to Sanjay ji, I think sometimes when such senior advocates talk on a particular topic, they suddenly just move to another topic, and which give less credibility to an organization like NIA, then that means that we are doubting anything and everything in this country. That may not be true. We need to talk about today the NIA charge sheet which is being filed clearly gives an indication to all of us that nothing is, whatever is happening in Mumbai or in Maharashtra is not in the right way.
But see, my point is, Mr. Nambiar, so that this also does not appear like an alleged story which the NIA claims was cooked up by certain members of the Mumbai police, this has to withstand court scrutiny. Otherwise, this will also end
that
up like
will
a
always
story.
So I think Sanket, there is nothing new in it. That is the way the law of the land
Correct.
works in that way only.
Correct.
The
PK
police
Jain, last
inquire
one.
and submit
Sanket,
a
if I
report,
heard you-
and based on that,
Yes,
the court
Mr. Jain.
works on it.
Mr.
If
Jain's final
I
comment.
heard you correctly, in the beginning itself, you had mentioned that NIA has not closed the case as yet. See,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
of certain legal constraints, a charge sheet has to be filed. So, a first charge sheet has been filed. It will be, I am sure in my heart of hearts, with my limited experience, that there will be further supplementary charge sheets in this matter, and some more truths will come out.
Okay.
The only thing is that there has to be good enough evidence to back them up before the supplementary charge sheets are filed. NIA must be working on it. We are not aware because they had not spoken their mind out. So let's wait for the future,
Okay.
and I'm
Sanket,
sure
one
that this is
quick
going to
comment.
happen.
I've run out of time. Thank you very much,
Sanket,
Mr.
one
Jain,
quick
Mr.
comment.
Nambiar, as well as Mr. Hegde. We'll come back to you because if, as Mr. Jain says, that the case is not closed and there could be another charge sheet, we'll have this discussion again. Just a quick note, I want to tell everyone, we invited members, various spokespersons and MPs who are part of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi to comment on this story. Many of them have denied to come as of this moment. Let's move on now. Story number 2. What exactly are the farmers planning? We have Mr. Rakesh Tikait. He is the leader of the Bharatiya Kisan Union Tikait faction. Rakesh Tikait जी, आपका धरना करनाल में कब तक चलेगा?
यहाँ पे जब तक यहाँ की सरकार और यहाँ के अधिकारी चाहेंगे, जब तक चलेगा, जब तक उस एसडीएम के खिलाफ रिपोर्ट दर्ज नहीं होगी, ये धरना जब तक जारी रहेगा।
मैं आपसे एक सवाल टिकैत साहब पूछना चाहता हूं। द भारतीय किसान संघ, they have said, and this is an organization affiliated with the RSS, that increasing the MSP and the manner in which it is being done is actually धोखा और MSP पर कानून होना चाहिए। मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं कि आपको क्या लगता है, MSP पे कानून आना चाहिए?
बिल्कुल हर फसल पर होनी चाहिए और हमने भी यही कह रहे, हम तो पिछले 10 महीने से, क्या उससे भी पहले से कह रहे, 10 महीने पे तो एमएसपी पे गारंटी कानून बने और हर फसल का एमएसपी हो, ये भी हमने कहा है। और दूध पे भी होना चाहिए, वेजिटेबल्स पे भी होना चाहिए।
अब एक राजनीतिक सवाल टिकैत जी, यूपी में चुनावी रूप से क्या फर्क पड़ता है या पड़ेगा इस किसान आंदोलन का, आपको क्या लगता है?
अब अगर प्लान सरकार ने ये बना रखी है कि यूपी चुनाव तक इस आंदोलन को लेकर जाना है, तो उस टाइम पर जवाब दे देंगे। और जब सरकार, अभी तो चुनाव के 6 महीने हैं, तो इसका मतलब दिल्ली का आंदोलन भारत सरकार 6 महीने और चलवाना चाहती है क्या? इसका मतलब वो काम करना ही नहीं चाहते। ये कानून वे वापसी नहीं लेंगे, तो यही तो बताएंगे कि उनको प्लान का पता है कि हमको 6 महीने तो और किसानों से बातचीत ही नहीं करनी। इस किसान को लूटने का काम करेंगे, देश में सारे सिस्टम को बेचने का काम करेंगे, जो पब्लिक सेक्टर के जो उद्यान थे उनको बेचने का काम करेंगे। तो सरकार तो इस काम पर लगी रही है। जिस दिन चुनाव आचार संहिता लग जाएगी तो उत्तर प्रदेश के चुनाव में बता देंगे क्या करेंगे। अभी हम मुद्दों को लेकर गांव में जाएंगे और पब्लिक मीटिंगें करेंगे हम वहां पर उत्तर प्रदेश में, पूरे देश भर में। ये करेंगे कि 2022 में प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि फसलों के रेट दुगने होंगे, किसान की आमदनी दुगनी होगी, तो हम फसलों के रेट हमको दुगने चाहिए, इस चीज के लिए जाएंगे।
ठीक है, यू विल होल्ड द गवर्नमेंट अकाउंटेबल टू द प्रॉमिसेस दे मेड इन द पास्ट। बट टिकैत साहब, आपको लगता है कि बैठ के चर्चा करने से ही समाधान निकलेगा? द सोल्यूशन ऑलमोस्ट ऑलवेज इज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ अ डायलॉग। अगर सरकार कह रही है कि कानून बदलने पर बात को वो तैयार हैं, तो आप कानून वापसी पर ही क्यों अड़े हुए हैं?
नहीं, सरकार ये कह रही कि उसमें संशोधन करवा लो।
हाँ,
हमने कहा कि उनको वापसी ले लो। वे कह रहे कि हम बातचीत जब करेंगे कि जब आप संशोधन का प्रस्ताव लेकर आओगे। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि वे बातचीत जब शुरू करेंगे, पहले उन्होंने अपनी कंडीशन लगा दी कि हम कानून वापसी नहीं लेंगे और सरकार से बात कर लो। हम बगैर कंडीशन के बातचीत करेंगे। सरकार को कोई भी प्रस्ताव रखना है वो हाउस के अंदर रखें। जब हम मीटिंग करें तो कमरे के अंदर प्रस्ताव रखें। बाहर प्रस्ताव और फैसला करके हमको सिर्फ मोहर लगाने के लिए बुलवाना चाहते हैं, तो इसी कंडीशन में किसान बातचीत नहीं करेगा।
ठीक है। एक आरोप यह भी है कि राजनीतिक कारणों से ये आंदोलन को वापस गर्म किया गया है आप लोगों द्वारा। आप क्या कहेंगे? ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज एन इलेक्शन इन उत्तर प्रदेश। इज दिस अ रिजल्ट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल मैन्यूवरिंग?
नहीं, आंदोलन हमारा ठंडा ही कपड़ा था। हमारा आंदोलन तो पहले ही गर्म था। यही कहते थे कि कोरोना काल चल रहा है, भीड़ कम कर दो। अब कोरोना काल खत्म हो गया तो आंदोलन में भीड़ बढ़वा दी हमने।
ठीक है, सरकार ने आज एमएसपी बढ़ाने की बात की है, उस पर आप क्या कहेंगे? दिस गवर्नमेंट्स डिसीजन टू इंक्रीज द एमएसपी।
40 पैसे पर केजी बढ़ाने की बात करी है उन्होंने। क्या ये एमएसपी जो बढ़ी है, क्या उस पर देश में खरीद होगी? ये भारत सरकार गारंटी देती है। हमने यही तो कहा है कि एमएसपी पे गारंटी कानून बने, उस पर खरीद हो। सरकार खरीद दे या व्यापारी खरीद दे, उसके कम पे खरीदना हो। लेकिन सस्ते में अनाज को खरीद के एमएसपी पे बेचा जाता है। यहाँ का जो व्यापारी है, उद्योगपति है, जो नेता हैं, वे अब इस खरीद में लग गए हैं कि हम 1400 रुपये क्विंटल गेहूं खरीद देंगे और 2000 रुपये बेचेंगे। हम धान 1100 रुपये खरीद देंगे और हम 1800-1900 रुपये पे बेचेंगे। हम मूंग 4500 रुपये खरीद देंगे और 7300 रुपये पे बेचेंगे। तो ये तो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी और बड़े बड़े लोग इसी पे तो लग रहे हैं कि सस्ता अनाज फल फ्रूट खरीद के और महंगे पे बेचो। यही तो हिमाचल के सेब के किसानों के साथ में हुआ। रिलायंस, अडानी वहां पे सेब खरीद करता है उनकी, जब फसल आती है तो सस्ते में खरीद करेगा और महंगे में बेचेगा। यही तो हुआ है वहां पे। अभी 80,000 पट्टियां उसने अपने गोदाम से निकाल के मार्केट में फेंकी, मार्केट को डाउन करा और 16 रुपये पर केजी के हिसाब से हिमाचल के किसान का सेब का रेट कम करा। तो पूरा हिमाचल का किसान बर्बाद होने के कगार पे है। सरकार यही तो देना चाहती है कि अनाज के गोदाम उनको दे दिए, एफसीआई के गोदाम उनको दे दिए, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियों को भूख पे अधिकार दे दिए, अनाज खरीद के भंडारण करेंगे, रोटी तिजोरी में बंद करेंगे, भूख के आधार पे देश में रोटियों की कीमतें तय करेंगे। तो ये तो देश में नहीं होगा। ये सरकारें भी सुन लें और ये बड़ी कंपनियां भी सुन लें, देश में भूख पे व्यापार नहीं होगा। ये सब सुन लें।
All right, Rakesh Tikait, thank you very much for joining us right here on this broadcast. News continues on the other side. Stay with us.